exactly is the microphone for it?
There's like headphones over here with a microphone. So like Kraft wears them when he mixes videos, but it picks up my sound even if I'm not wearing it. So I didn't worry about it. Alright, I want to talk about piecewise functions. So it's just a function that gets split into parts. So here, let's say f of x, we'll start with an example and I'll talk about what it means, then how it pertains to limits. That's a piecewise function. You got? Did you talk about these before? Yeah. Okay. So it just means that it's not really one equation the whole way. It's going to be split into 2 or maybe 3 parts. That should be less than there. Yeah. Thank you. So if you think about a number line, what this means is everywhere to the left of 0, x squared is our equation. And everywhere to the right of 0, 2x plus 3 is our equation. And then they're either going to meet or they're not. And if they meet, does the limit exist? If they don't, does the limit exist? No. So that's basically what we're trying to find out. Like, do they come together in one spot or are they separate? If I wanted to graph it, and you don't really have to graph them in here, but I think it just helps. It helps me to go through it so you understand like what's actually happening. So y equals x squared would be a parabola, right? So you have this parabola, but there's this like breaking point here where this x squared stops being what matters. Open circle or closed? Open because that's not an or equal to. And like normally x squared would continue, but it gets cut off because that's only the piece that matters up until you get to 0. From 0 on, this is your equation. So 2x plus 3 would have a y-intercept of 3, open circle or closed? Closed. And then it would go like that. So I could ask you 3 different questions here. Well, I could ask you a little more than that, but what's the limit as x approaches 0 from the left? So from the left, is that the red information or the blue information? Red, because numbers to the left of 0 are less than 0. So we plug into that one. The limit as I approach from the left-hand side would be 0. Look at this color. That's top-notch teaching right here.
I know, same.
So I could ask you limit as x approaches 0 from the right. Blue or red?
Blue.
Blue, because we already did red, but also numbers that are to the right of 0 are greater than 0, right? Like that's how it really matches up. So plug 0 into the blue one, we get 3. So then if I asked you overall, like, hey, just in general, what's the limit as x approaches 0, what would you say? You'd have to say it does not exist because it doesn't match. Is the function continuous at x equals 0?
No.
No, because
They don't meet.
they don't meet, which mathematically, how would you say that? Discontinuity, jump discontinuity, or you can say the limit does not exist. Either one of those. Fair enough? Questions on it before I gotta click your reason to move on. Okay. Let's say f of x equals sine of x when x is less than or equal to 0, and 3x when x is greater than 0. I'll take the coloring away. limit, you don't have to. It's just me trying to like demonstrate what's really happening. Sine of 0. So I'm only going to do sine from here backwards. What's the sine of 0?
0.
It's 0. Closed circle or open? Closed because we got the or equal to. And then sine goes like this. It just kind of wiggles the whole way. 3x when x is greater than 0. So where do I start that graph? Start at 0. So there's an open circle there, but it doesn't matter because it's already filled in. And then it goes like that. So this one is where they do meet. This is where everything's fine. So what's the limit as x approaches 0 from the left? 0. What's the limit as x approaches 0 from the right?
0.
0. What's the limit as x approaches 0?
0.
Is the function continuous at x equals 0?
Yes.
Yes. Question on that?
Open circle at 0 for the second one, right? Like
So,
you can't-
yeah, it's open, but it was already, I'm just like circling the closed dot that was already there, basically. You know what I mean? Okay. So the third kind is the one that trips people up the most. So let's say f of x equals x squared when x does not equal 5. And 20 when x does equal 5. So you gotta understand what this means. This is not like just to the right of, like if it was greater than 5, it'd just be 5 and up. If it was less than 5, it'd be 5 and below. This is everywhere except for 5. So what this means on a graph, I don't know why I made this a freaking 5. That's huge. Is you've got something like this, where this is at 5. That is, here, let me do it in color together. So the black part here is this. You got x squared, so you make it over polynomial, except at that spot you got open circle. And then this tells me where the bridge is. And the question is basically going to be, is the bridge in the right spot? So what would the y value of this open circle be if it were filled in? It'd be 25. And so 20 is really like down there a little bit. So it's not matching up. And then if we ask questions, question. You got, so just do these like on your own, in your head, on your paper, whatever, and we'll talk about it in a second. Did you guys see the comments on the YouTube last night? Anybody? That person, remember I said like Stephanie Elsberg? They responded and they were like, it's not Stephanie, it's Stephen. Pronounced like, because it's like Stephan. Pronounced like Stephen. And thanks for the videos. And I've never known a person named Stephen Elsberg. Well, pronounced like Stephen.
But no, there's some in the
There
school
is a
name is Stefan.
There is a Stefan.
I don't know his last name. He's Stefan.
That information would be much more helpful if you knew their last name.
I want to say that they are clear. But I'm not.
He's like,
I'll do it after I record that.
He's hearing you right now. Looks like he'll watch it later.
I know, that was creepy. Hi, Stephen.
Sup, Steven?
Everybody say hi, Stephen.
Hi, Steven.
He comments back, hi guys.
That would be great. Alright, so, what's the limit as I approach 5 from the left? 25. So realize you won't have the graph. Like, I'm going to do you a favor of like going around and making a graph for you every time. How would you get 25 if you didn't have the graph? You just plug in here. Sometimes it's not that simple either. We'll do one like that in a second. What's the limit as I approach 5 from the right? 25. So what's the limit as I approach 5? 25. Is it continuous? No, why not? Limit the limit and the value don't match, right? There is a limit, there is a value, but they're not the same spot. This is like somebody built two roads that met and then a bridge like in a different spot. I forgot who said that, but that was you. This is David's bridge. Alright, let's say. Oh, God, that's terrible. No.
Oh no.
You keep just like the Greek one.
So, the problem is I'm colorblind and the black.
Oh no. What?
Okay, I pressed that one, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, you want it?
Yes.
For real? Really?
Yes.
You like this color lines?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't color code stuff.
So this is a little tougher, and there's like one more level of difficulty after this too. Let me give you a minute or two to try it. Maybe you can come up with, and then I'll go through it. Got that, Steven? What do we want? Wait for which? It's 6. Calculator. You don't need, what do you calculate for? In a minute, if you do the problem right, you're going to have to do 3 plus 3 in a second. If you have questions, I can just tell you what that is. You know? You say it's intentional that you don't have calculators. Basically, the calculators I'm going to give you do everything in this class. So I don't give them to you until I've taught you everything in this class, pretty much. And then I go back at the end and I show you how to do everything on the calculator. But half the test is not a calculator, so you have to know how to do the stuff about it. But you have to understand the concepts that are happening. Although you can't just know how to type it in, and that it's meaningless if you don't understand what's really going on.
Also, they cheat and upload something to the calculator beforehand and they compare tests. That would help.
Okay, so I want, like in the last question, I plugged in, I had x squared up here, and how did I find out what the y value was? I plugged 5 in, right? Well, that doesn't work in this problem. So if I plug 3 in, I get 0 on the bottom. I'm looking for the y value. My first attempt at the y value was to plug it in. It didn't work. How else do we know, what else do we know that finds y values?
Alright, you gotta simplify it. No, vector. For you, right? On factor, the
You
anti-factor.
guys are telling me how to do the problem instead of answering my question. What else finds y values? How do we find y values? I don't have a graph. Graph would work. Plugging in would work. I don't have either of those. What else finds y values? Limits! That's the whole point. That's the whole thing. Limits find y values, right? That's why we spell it, like L-Y, L-Y. So what I'm going to do is find the limit of this. So it doesn't matter if you necessarily write it out this way, but like what you're actually, because I think a lot of you probably knew you were supposed to do this and cancel, right? Like I'm guessing a lot of you ended up with 6. That's what 3 plus 3 is. But you got to know that what you're really doing is finding a limit. Like, Diaz, you told me 6 right away. Did you think about it as a limit, though?
Yeah, it's not like that.
You did? Okay.
Just 3, yeah.
Cool.
That's what I was asking. Take a while.
So, what would have to go here if this function was going to be continuous and nice and smooth? 6. But it's a 5. So what I've got is something like Something like that. It's supposed to be at 6, but the dot's down at 5. What kind of discontinuity is that?
Removable.
Removable. And the way you would remove it, if you were asked to remove it, that's actually what's coming next. But it would just be like I would put a 6 there instead of a 5. That's how you remove it. So if I answer these questions, what's the limit as I approach 3 from the left? 6. From the right? 6. Together? 6. What's f of 3? 5. Is it continuous?
No.
No.
So, would you need the x does not equal 3 in that problem? Would they actually have that written there? Because
Yes. It can, but they're just going to clarify, like, here's what's happening at this. Because really, this and this combined have to give you a representation of everything. Okay. So we didn't write it, it wouldn't really, like, it just wouldn't make sense, even though it still means something. Alright, one more. Wait, that's not right. There. What is what? This is a K. This is supposed to be x not equal to 0. It's kind of sloppy. So then the directions would say find K to make the function continuous at x equals 0. So again, I'll give you a second to try it, and then I'll go through with you and see where we're at. I'm going to pass out your homework while you are doing that. For somebody who hasn't grabbed your homework, like,
He gets pretty easy. At least what I know. But it's your notes. He doesn't care if you I feel really close. Easy's probably that.
I am not feeling jealous. You can have a piece of hair.
I love how your response is to rest your head under your
Well, you know, it just works that instructions opens and choirs, so that's your fucking system. Yeah.
Wait, what?
You don't do the structures with the choir.
Right, I'm supposed to do that?
That's
how
like
we
the
were
glitter of
taught.
the universe.
So you were taught, really?
Yeah, that's how we were taught.
The
It's
wash.
just the weird dude with the suit always does it. That's the only person I
Oh,
know
jeez,
who's doing
that's
it.
Daniels.
Yeah.
But no. When Washington County Community College chamber singer, he came to Milan, and this guy, big old guy, was like, "You gotta sprinkle glitter." I'm like, "You're sprinkling glitter."
Big guy would say sprinkly glitter.
Yeah, but it also kind of shows like the breath that you have to take to get those notes.
Oh yeah.
Something weird. I don't know.
And it's just your hands out of your pockets, so. He gave us bacon at, no, he didn't give me bacon, he gave me bacon at, where was
Wait,
it?
when you talk about yourself, why do you touch your nose? Like, pointing to yourself, you always are touching your nose.
I'm very,
So
She is
you
her
go
nose.
like this.
She is her nose.
I
It's
learned
also
sign
like right
language.
here.
I learned sign language. No, at choir festival, choral festival, he gave me bacon. See, David, I did this. Because he worked in concert choir. This guy, because it was at Washington Community College, he's sitting there with this tray of bacon.
So does both choir do both choirs do this?
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean,
Oh yeah, but
But
you gotta do
What?
well, I mean, if she's in there, like, take her choir folder.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the comments.
Trying to what?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
But yeah, now that you know that you have to do it, you have to do it.
I'm following it now. Yeah.
Oh, it's the Red Cross, honestly. They'll harass. I've been harassed by someone.
I can't say robocall because like someone's betrayed me all that, so that's like hidden part of their number and call it, and it's like I'm not falling into that scam again.
So there's so many.
No, I always
I used to get so many scam calls. One is like for tax fraud, and the other one is for.
Did like the IRS call you? The IRS call you?
Yeah.
They called me too.
They call me too all the time.
I get one
About the
from-
tax fraud that they don't even pay.
Well, the IRS like won't ever call you.
That's exactly.
She called like 10 freaking
I know
times.
she called.
That's
The
right.
IRS
It's just fun.
calls
I
me
don't
very
have a
much. She almost
job.
called me
Goodbye.
twice.
If you go to job, they do pay taxes anyway, but I get it all back.
so she's
You know,
doing
I'm
taxes.
taking it enough money. So I get it all back. It's not like I do your taxes.
Also,
Yeah.
So, I know that what I've got this is not equal to, that's a road with a hole in it. The question is, how do I fill in that hole? Like, what's the Y value supposed to be to fill in that hole? You can just think about this as a blank, and we gotta make it so it's continuous. So, first thing I gotta do is try to plug in 0, but you're getting 0 at the bottom. I can't use that, so what's the next thing I try?
Sine of x over x equals 1.
Why am I trying that?
The limit.
Limit, thank you. Find the limit, right? I mean, you're right what you're doing, but so what you really are thinking about is the limit as x approaches 0 of this, which is what?
3.
3. And then, so if you put a 3 here, you know, you got a road with a hole in it, and we're just closing in that dot, basically. How many had 3? Questions? Alright. I had to print your, I printed them earlier and someone stole them.
Steven.
Steven
Steven.
stop stealing our stuff.
Started Steven.
Really, dude?
Some of those videos with the mom.